Welcome back to the Daily Poem here on the Close Reads Podcast Network. I'm David Kern. Today's poem is by Janet Lewis, a poet who lived from 1899 to 1998. She was an American novelist and poet. The poem I'm going to read today is called Remembered Morning. It goes like this. The axe rings in the wood and the children come, laughing and wet from the river, and all goes on as it should. I hear the murmur and hum of their mourning forever. The water ripples and slaps the white boat at the dock. The fire crackles and snaps. The little noise of the clock goes on in my heart, of my heart parcel and part. Oh, happy early stir. A girl comes out on the porch and the door slams after her. She sees the wind in the birch, and then the running day catches her into its way. So this is a poem that I think will be pretty poignant for the moms and dads who are listening. I'm particularly fond of the way the poem begins with the children coming into the home, and it ends with them going out. The axe rings in the wood, and the children come is the first two lines. And then the last two lines are, and then the running day catches her into its way. My children are still pretty young. They're on eight and under 8 actually, and so the running day catching them into its way is not something I'm totally familiar with what that feels like, except in as much as any day carries each of us in its way, or in as much as just in every day, each of us are changing and growing and evolving and being caught up in the running of the day. But there are these continual images of motion, of coming in and going out throughout this poem. The water ripples, rippling in and out as water does. It's slapping the white boat of the dock, so you imagine the boat being pushed up against the dock and back into the water, back into the ripples, and going back and forth, back and forth. The fire crackling and snapping. There's a rhythm and a pattern and in and out and up and down to that as well. The noise of the clock. So here we get a very direct image, right? The clock just turning and turning. But it's going on in her heart. Part and parcel of her heart. The idea that time is passing, that we don't get back what has already passed, and that it's carrying her children on into the future, into a sort of freedom from her, is something that is inescapable. It's part and parcel of who she is. It's not something she can ever walk away from, or which she can ever be free from herself. Her children's freedom is not something that she can be free from herself. Of course, there's going to be a rhythm to the way that plays itself out within her, to the way she feels that. There's going to be an in and out sort of pattern to that, like a ripple. Sometimes it's going to be felt very profoundly, and sometimes perhaps not. But then the image of the door slamming very early in the morning, the girl coming out on the porch, taking a look at the wind in the birch tree, and then going out amongst it and letting it take her where it will. For the girl, there's opportunity, freedom, the future, the enjoyment of the day, pleasure, all those things that a child or a young person sees out there in front of them. But back in the house, back behind the door, there are still the people who are left, who are watching, who are looking outside the door, waiting for the time when they return. And so, like the water rippling, there is always that coming in and going out, that coming in and going out. It becomes a little bit more permanent each time they go out. The boat becomes the permanent. It takes you further out every time, right? That's why I think that image of the boat there is so crucial, because the boat can take them somewhere. It can bring them back, and it can take them somewhere, and bring them back and take them somewhere. So there's both a very sort of sad image going on here, and also a hopeful one at the same time. But I love this poem. I love the profundity kind of at the heart of the experience that she's offering. It's, these images are really lovely, very they're sentimental, but not in the wrong way, I think is what I'm trying to say. And I think there's a fine line that artists have to walk. And I think she manages to express the sentiment, the sentimentality that comes with being a parent without it being too saccharine. So here one more time is Janet Lewis's Remembered Morning. The axe rings in the wood and the children come, laughing and wet from the river, and all goes on as it should. I hear the murmur and hum of their mourning forever. The water ripples and slaps the white boat at the dock. The fire crackles and snaps. The little noise of the clock goes on in my heart, of my heart parcel and part. Oh, happy early stir. A girl comes out on the porch, and the door slams after her. She sees the wind in the birch, and then the running day catches her into its way. This has been The Daily Poem. Thanks so much for listening. I will be back tomorrow with another poem for you.